Hello,
Welcome.
everyone. I am super excited for this one, as I was telling you guys in the last session. But let us know in the chat how many sessions have you been to, or tell us which has been your favorite session so far. We've had
Ooh,
so many good sessions. Like, honestly, it's hard to choose.
yes, there's so many. Oh, hard to pick
Yes, Christy, all hard to pick.
all of them first set. Oh, that's
All of them.
awesome. A lot of you the first one. That's cool.
The
Man, we set
first one was a
I
great
knew it. I was
kickoff.
like, we're setting the bar so high on this first one. It's very good.
I know. And I'm so glad to see again. I always put this, I'm like, I see so many familiar names. This is how I remember people if you chat or you use the Q&A panel. So Joy, I know you've been with us for a lot of them. And Joyce's and Andrea's and Judy's. So many of you guys have been going with us through all of these, but really excited that you guys are here. And if you have friends, family in Florida or anywhere that's been affected by the hurricane, I hope everyone's staying safe. Let's have a great time learning some good stuff. But just to get started, make the most of our time today. This is Desiree's session where we're going to learn how to build a high converting landing page or website. And you might be wondering, Bonnie, Stephanie, you do not look like Desiree. Desiree
I
is
know.
in the back. She has a newborn and she was kind enough. There she
There she
is
is.
with Max. We love babies. Oh, such a sweetie. But she and Max are in the background. They will be watching the chat, watching the Q&A panel for anything that comes out of today's session. But she was kind enough to pre-record a lot of what she wanted to go through today. And there is so many good things that she's included. So super excited for all of you guys. But with that being said, I'm going to go through just a few things and I'll kind of lay out what you can expect from this session. One, of course, if you want to register for more sessions, you can go to Sales Workshop, that site that Stephanie will put in the chat here soon. Otherwise, all the recordings that we have are in there right now. We'll upload to YouTube probably next week, sometime, I think usually Tuesday, Wednesday. But if you want to see the recordings now, take a look. Totally understand if you had to miss a few. Life is busy, but definitely check those on out. Otherwise, absolutely, we are recording. There will never be a time where we probably are never recording. So we're recording this session. So if you want to go back, you want to slow things down, definitely do so. But the way that this session is going to be set up, we're going to kind of go back and forth. I want to tell you all about the page builder. We're going to just go over some really basic items, just because I know some of you may not have been in that tool yet in Travefy. And if so, that's totally okay. We're going to go through those basics, like I said, or if you maybe haven't spent a whole lot of time in there, I want to make sure we have a good foundation and know what we're talking about when Desiree shows us everything she's created and really, again, how to make that high converting landing page. So without further ado, let's go ahead, jump right on into Travefy. And if this is your first time seeing the inside of Travefy, I know there are some non-users in the audience today. This is what our trips page would look like. We're known for our itineraries and proposals, of course, but so many other things. And the pages is really one of my favorite spots to hang out. I love being creative. I think this is a really fun place to exercise that part of my brain. And I know that is the same for a lot of you as well. And so if we click into Pages Together, which is up at the top left, it's going to take us to exactly that. It's what we call our page builder. And you can build a few things. You can build what's called a website. So if you don't have a website for yourself, you can build something similar to this, where you talk about yourself, you talk about your specialties. If you've tuned into Penny's or Vanessa's sessions where they talk about your personal branding, your story, this is a really great tool to put everything in here. So for instance, you can say, here are all of my featured trips. Here is my calendar, so you can book that consultation with me so I can get to know you better. You can build your website in Travefy. We can do what we call domain masking, which we'll talk about a little bit more. Otherwise, for those of you who have a website already, this is a really great session too for you because you can still use this tool to create what we call marketing landing pages. Now, marketing landing pages, they look very similar, they just have a little bit of a different purpose. So if I click into my drop-down list right here, and if you tuned in, I believe we made this during maybe New Agent Bootcamp, this Utah 2024 group landing page. This would be a good example. If you have a trip that you really want to promote, you want to put all of the details into one place for interested travelers, repeat clients, and friends and family. This is what you can kind of create. You can say a little bit about the trip. You can talk about your company, of course, again, bringing in that everything we've learned from the other sessions, your story, uh, and so many other things, videos, your itinerary that you've created already in your account. You can talk about the different options that you're offering on this trip. If this helps make a little bit more sense too of why you would want to put together something like a marketing landing page, if you think to yourself, when I put together a page or, I put together actually a trip, I get a lot of questions. I almost am tech support, emotional support. You guys are support for a lot of your clients in some way or the other. And being able to say, hey, I know you have a lot of questions. I've thought of everything you've said, and I put it all into this one nice place. And here's your one link that you can go back to and refer to. So once you look everything over, email me, use my booking form, and let's get this vacation booked. But that's really the key thing about these page builders. We want to make sure that you are front and center to your clients and know how to get those sales, get those interested travelers into your inbox and getting on their way. And so again, website, you can create a website, you can create landing pages. I do both in here. You can do one or the other. It really doesn't matter. But again, this is included in your subscription already. It's not at any additional cost. So why not take advantage of it? And with Desiree's help, we're going to see how we can actually go above and beyond just some of the basic things of the page builder. Now, I'm looking over a few things. I'm going to just talk about very briefly some basic functions you'll want to just keep in mind as we watch Desiree's recording. And one of them is this edit page menu. This is always going to be up at the top right. And if we've chatted before, you always know I say click into that edit page menu, fill out these 3 items as best you can. Theme is with the different colors you'll have. You can, of course, choose your different looks if you like the Azure theme, Stellar. They all have a similar look, but they have a little bit of a different aesthetic, if you will. You can click into these, experiment around, but I always say go to your edit page menu. It's a really easy place to start out. But we make it easy. We're going to just walk you through everything. We, of course, offer training, so don't feel like we're just throwing you into this tool and saying good luck. That's why we have webinars like this and bringing in really great experts to talk about things. So we have that edit page menu. The other thing is your new element button. These building blocks right here are what we consider elements, and we can customize these elements. So if I click into here, the menu to edit this specific section or element will appear on the right-hand side, and I can type in whatever I need to do. So if I type in Explore, you can see those changes being made live. Let me delete that out. We'll click Save. And if you see that new element button up here in the blue, we click on it, you'll see all of the different building blocks or elements that you can pull into the different spots on your page. For instance, if I want an image banner, maybe to separate this text, you just drag and drop it over. And then, of course, you can see that edit menu on the right-hand side for this element. So a lot of things in Travefy, of course, are drag and droppable, and the same is true in the page builder. Again, new element, you can see all the different ones. You can pull in as many as you want to. I personally have not hit a limit, so that says something. I don't think the limit exists. So next thing to just keep in mind, how to delete an element. And I kind of did that one quick. I'll just pull over maybe this hero one, experiment around, and decide I don't love this here. That's okay. I'm going to click save real quick so we can see how we delete it. In Travefy, a lot of times we have symbols that are common throughout our software. And usually if you see the 3 dots, there's going to be multiple options. And in the page builder, that means you can delete this item. So if you need to delete anything, click the 3 dots, hit that delete option, and now it's gone from the page. The last thing that I'm going to hit on before we get into Dez's recording is your domain masking. Dez is talking all about, how to go above and beyond. How do we make this a really high converting landing page? Something that I recommend, and a lot of others have as well, is making sure you domain mask your account. And so this account of mine is not domain masked, but on my other one, I'll just show you here. Domain masking allows us to take your domain that you've purchased through somewhere like GoDaddy, Google Domains, Squarespace, just to name a few. And instead of Travefy being in any of your links that you would share to a client, your domain name is here instead. So not only is it really great for branding when you're using these pages, it's also really great when you send your itineraries or your forms. If your client looks at the link, they'll see your company name versus Travefy's. And I always joke about this, but we really aren't interested in marketing to your clients. We want you to appear front and center to your travelers. So domain masking is free to do in Travefy, and to get started on that, you just have to go click your settings gear. Or I'm just going to say right now, because we're going to go through a lot of information, you can always chat us and we can send you a calendar to do domain masking with us for free, or just send you the step-by-step guide. But if you click that settings gear, you can click setup domain. It's going to take me to my account settings, and you'll just follow the steps. Now, again, you have to own your domain through a third-party site, again, like GoDaddy, Google Domains, just to name a few. But doing the masking portion in Travefy is completely free because, again, we really want you to be the rock star in front of your travelers. But with that being said, I've talked a lot, I've showed a little bit, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can share Dez's recording and we can see how we can make a really, really great page together.
Oh, I'm so excited for this. But really quick though, I did just have a couple questions for you just to make sure we
Yes.
set this up so people know is one, someone asked, or a couple people asked, what if I already have a website through like their host agency or someone else? Can they still use this? Like what we're talking about?
Yes, absolutely. And Des has thought of this question ahead of time. And, she's going to show us how we can actually use them both. Absolutely use your agency profile page and partner it with one of your Travefy pages, or create, maybe a full-blown website in Travefy that links back to your agent profile and connect them both. It's a two-way street.
It is a
Good
two-way street.
question.
Yeah, no, that's super great. So now that we've answered that, I think that will really help. And then I know there's some other questions that have been coming in that we'll make sure that we get at the end as well. But okay, now the fun part. All right, so okay, so we pre-recorded this. So even though Des is behind the scenes, she's answering all things in there. But we recorded this previously just with Max, the newborn baby. You never know when he might yeah, yell out. He really wanted to join the session, I think is what it was.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's really funny. You'll see in the video that there's like one point she changes things. So it's great. We make this work, it's so awesome. And so thankful for Des for showing us everything. So I'm gonna get this going because this is gonna blow everyone's minds. I mean, it kind of blew mine. I was like, wow,
Yes.
this is cool stuff. Okay, let me video. Let me get this recording up. Okay. Do you see this, Bonnie?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Just making sure. Okay, here we go. Des, take it away.
And actually, I can't hear anything, so we might need to share the sound.
Oh no. Sorry, everyone.
But we can see everything.
Oh, and that was so perfect too in my
oh wait, know.
Can you hear? You can't hear? Nope. Okay, here. Let me stop sharing that. Okay.
We're gatekeeping, half of the information. You guys can see the slides and her screen, but only we know what she's saying.
I know. Yeah. So you have to imagine, what it is. I figured it out. So here you go. Now we're leaving this all up to your imagination. Okay. So this should work now. Here we go.
Okay, thanks so much, Stephanie, and thanks so much for letting us pre-record this. We have Max here. He's my little newborn, and he is ready to help you guys market your business too using Travefy pages. So welcome to the session. We're talking about creative and useful ways to use Travefy pages, and we're highlighting the new Travefy page template marketplace. So if you haven't heard yet, you can now access page templates made by other Travefy users, and you can access all of their pages shared on Marketplace. So we're going to jump into that a little bit today. Let's go ahead and get into our session agenda. So we're going to talk about 3 ideas on how to use Travefy pages as your website or combined with your website. And then we're going to jump into accessing the new marketplace templates and finishing up with top tips for these elements. So we're going to do a little bit of a live demo with Marketplace today. I'm super excited about it. One thing you guys should know about me is that I am the above and beyond type of web designer and marketer. I believe in kind of pushing the design level and elevating what you can in order to capture your client's attention and help them kind of use your business and remember your business. So this isn't just kind of the basic session. We're kind of going to jump in and see how can we make these web pages the best of the best using the new templates we have. A little bit about me. My name is Desiree Stack, and I started teaching marketing and CRM strategies for a host agency almost 7 years ago. And now I have the privilege of building travel agent websites using Travefy and Wix primarily. In addition to that, I love to build brands. I write monthly email newsletters, blogs, and so much more. You can check us out on stack-strategies.com. We have some great free resources and an amazing marketing blog. So that's enough about me. Let's talk about how to use Travefy pages. So obviously the first way is having a 1-page or multi-page website using Travefy pages. I always recommend plug in your own domain. This is destinationsbycami.com here. And one thing that I just like to feature is how you can use Travefy to showcase your brand, showcase yourself, your travels, your certifications, and so much more. I always believe that a web page should have a home page, an about page, services, how to book with you, any certifications you have. You could have a team. You can feature the vacation types you have. Travefy makes it easy to plug in forms and trips. There's so much that you can do with it. I always talk to my clients and I tell them, if you have Travefy, you might as well be using the pages feature. I mean, make the most of your premium plan with Travefy and use the pages. Now, of course, if you already have a website outside of Travefy, we could talk about how to have a Travefy featured trips page. So in this example here, I have a client who has a website on Wix, or you could have WordPress or whatever. You make a button for featured trips, as you see here, and that goes to a featured trips page on Travefy. So in this case, you're using the ability to either feature groups that you are hosting yourself, or you could make a page about sample trips that you do. So sample trips could be a variety of trips that you like to book to tell your clients the packages that you suggest. I believe as a service-based business owner, it's best to show people what you offer. They want to see the package. They want to see how much it's going to cost. They want to know as much information as they can. And this is one of the best ways you could do it, is having a sample trips page. So this is a great kind of page idea for if you have a website outside of Travefy or with Travefy. I love these kinds of pages, and I love using the ability to showcase trips on these pages. So that's the second one. And then the third is featuring one trip at a time. So this could be a trip idea, this could be a group space that you're hosting, or a destination wedding. So we know how important it is to fill up group space and destination weddings as soon as we possibly can, to lock in contracts and so on. So when you make a featured trips page, I think that this needs to be like the best kind of landing page you could have. You want to capture people, you want them to say, this trip is for me. And I think the best way to do it is to lay out information in detail and just share as much as you can. So, with this being said, we have new Travefy landing pages in the marketplace. It's called Featured Trip, and you could see the three that we made. We have one for land, one for cruise, and one for domestic travel. So, as you may have heard, Marketplace is now sharing pages. So, partners such as myself and other Travefy users have already shared some pages that you can access already. But today we're going through and we're going to kind of talk about how you can make these pages the best of the best if you are using them. So we're going to dive into Marketplace, and I do on the slides that we're going to give to you. I kind of have like the step-by-step available, but I'm going to go ahead and jump right into Travefy, and I am going to show you a little bit about how to get these pages. So you could go right over to the Marketplace tab in Travefy, scroll down to Pages, kind of a little toward the bottom here, and you're going to want to click Show More to the right of Pages. So here you'll see the pages that are available. The example that we're going to use are right here at the top, but please feel free to browse around. There's some amazing templates in here already for you, but we're going to highlight this resort and land featured trip. So I'm going to click on it and click Copy to Clipboard. When it's copied, you get a success message in the bottom right corner. And then you're going to head over to your library to be able to access it. So it's right here at the top. I see it was uploaded a few seconds ago. I'm going to click on it and click to edit. So I just want to kind of review a little bit about what it is to kind of update this page and customize it to the max. I seriously recommend, getting good pictures and images, changing this to your brand. Before I tell you kind of how to do all that, my recommendations, I kind of made a list for you guys. I love to give a little bit of a handout because I think that success comes from lists. So I wanted to give you a list. How to get together the group information, and then how to change the colors and update the sections on these pages. There are a bunch of sections, and please don't be daunted by that. I try to give you more content, and if you're going to edit it, you can, or you can delete it if you're not going to use it. So please, before you take a whole bunch of notes and take a whole bunch of pictures, we have a great checklist that you're going to get at the end of this session, okay? Sorry about that. We had to move around for Max. We got to accommodate the baby, guys. Okay, so as you can see, we are going to customize this using the checklist and kind of going through. But what I really recommend is obviously changing the theme color. We're under edit page. You can change the theme color to be your brand color. If you have a copy of your logo, I'd put it in the top left area. And then you're just going to kind of go through each section, and we gave you some content information that you can update or change as you need to. And then there's a lovely Canva edition. So guys, if you don't know Canva, please learn it, number one. But if you don't know Canva, that's okay. I recommend just putting a picture, one picture, from a supplier, or one of your own pictures into that space. You can click on it and scroll down and change the image to just one singular image. But if you are a Canva user and you know how easy it is to swap out those pictures and put your logo in the center and change out the colors, please take the extra 30 minutes or to an hour to do so. However long it takes you, it's worth it. You're trying to book this group space up. I really recommend using lots of good pictures and have them be in your brand. So This is kind of great to kind of show off the introduction summary to tell people who belongs on this trip. You could scroll down to the destination. You're going to change out the word destination and change out the trip highlights, include what you can. I want you to notice that around these pages, you can click on the Canva link and get the template to the Canva link. And then when you're done, you will highlight and delete that little link out. Okay. Now, if you accidentally delete the Canva link on your own, it's okay. Please know that the Canva links are also listed in the checklist just in case you need them. Okay. So there's Canva links everywhere for you on all the pages. So you're going to kind of go through, change out the pictures, delete the words, delete what you don't need, add in links to the buttons to book this trip, and you're going to go through and change out what you need. Now, let's say that, you write about this destination and you don't want to talk about the hotel room or you don't want to talk about the food. Again, please feel free to delete it out by clicking on it and deleting the sections. You could click on it, click the dots and delete the sections. It is okay to just have highlights here and just this destination information and the what's included. It's like to give you extra sections in case you have more to say. So you'll go through, again, you can change the fonts and the colors of these, what's included in the custom options. And you could put in, if there's air included, list if there's air included. If there's not air included, then leave it over there and tell the people that they need to book it on their own. You guys know how to do that part. Just make sure that you chalk it up and tell them, bunch is included. And then the last thing here is probably adding cost information. Now, if you're not the type of person to share cost information and you're saying, contact me to book this trip, then delete this out and put that somewhere else. You could just delete out this word and just write contact me for more information. But I think it's great to be able to list, possible room categories for single or double occupancy. And of course, always recommend travel insurance. The last section here, if people get to this point on your landing page, it's probably because they have questions. So we now have a frequently asked questions section on this page template where you need to go through, change out your agency name, and just make sure that these answers are correct to your trip. When you're done, of course, I always have good housekeeping, some finishing lists. So on your checklist here, you can have finalization steps, to update the page name. If you know what a favicon is, it's this little linksy here. You could update that. One of the reasons why I love Travefy so much is because it has advanced features already built into it that allow you to be found on Google, that allow you to be a very professional online business. And that's what these finalization steps are for, is to have those very professional settings complete. So you can finish that up and share your landing page on a website or on just as the page itself. Okay, so just going back to where we were, we talked about Marketplace, we talked about the checklist on how to customize these templates. Of course, the checklist is made for the landing pages that we're covering today on the featured group hit trips, but it could possibly help you using other templates too. So again, these are kind of a little advanced Marketplace page templates, but it's only because we want to help you guys really elevate the design and kind of take it to the next level. And if you want to use these skills for your own websites, please feel free. Okay. Just to kind of wrap it up here, some tips for editing. We have, of course, if you don't have your own photos, guys, please visit your suppliers, sites, marketing libraries. I'm not going to name drop any names here, but you have a lot of amazing resources available to you that I recommend going in and downloading and using them on your web pages through Travefy. Of course, Travefy forms are another great feature to feature on your page. I really recommend having a join this group trip multiple times on your page, or request to build a new trip multiple times on your page. If you're using content for these, please just make sure you're editing them and making sure it all makes sense. And then obviously we kind of already dived into Canva, so that's good. So if you're looking for the checklist, please visit stack-strategies.com/Travefy-workshop. There you're going to find the slides for today's presentation, as well as the page templates checklist. So this is kind of to use those featured trips pages that we talked about that are under the marketplace. You're going to just grab that in and get to work. So I know that we kind of covered this a little bit fast. Of course, if you guys have any questions, I'm going to be on live during my session answering questions as I can in chat. But we really hope that you can use the Travefy Pages feature to help grow your business, help your business stand out. And I can tell you that it is really possible. So I'm so glad that Travefy made these pages available in Marketplace. I'm so happy to be a part of it. And I'm hoping that you have great success.
Woo! How exciting. Okay, wait. Now, let me stop sharing now. Or Bonnie, can you share your screen again?
I'll send the request
Wait.
in to you.
Okay, there we go.
But no.
Allow.
That
Okay.
was so good. Like I said, you guys, I hope I, didn't tease too much before she showed everything, but I am so excited that these templates are in Marketplace. These are so great. And all of the comments, I'm sure, Des, you're seeing all of them. So many happy people in there. In previous webinars, if you've been with us for, even just earlier this year, pages in Marketplace were not a thing. So after any webinar that we talked about pages, it's like, okay, go out, build these yourself. But now we have such great tools and templates that are available to us. So thank you again, Desiree, for all of your help. I know having a newborn while doing this is crazy. And
Yeah,
I
look at
just
the
was-
juggle of that. Like literally,
like
just
how? I can't even juggle my own life right now, and I only have a dog. So I want to go ahead. We are going to walk through, grabbing it from Marketplace, saving it, editing a few of these things, and then getting into some Q&A. But I will say we have some customers of Dez's in here. So
Yeah.
Annette, I saw that you were one of her first Travefy websites that she's built. And then we had Cami, of course, that you saw before her example website. But so many great resources and just a testament to how great making sure your pages look just helps you out so much more. So with that being said, let's go ahead. I'll stop chatting for now. And I am going to share my screen, and hopefully you guys can see that okay. We'll go full screen so you can see as much as you can. But let's go ahead. We're going to go to Marketplace. This is, again, where Des shared all of her templates in here. And I will say, I believe last time we talked, Des, you said that you were pretty booked out all the way to 2025, I want to say. So the fact that she's made us templates to share with all of you guys is amazing. Now, there's a few ways you can find your templates, and you can decide which one's going to be easier for you. One is you can scroll down on this page. We are in Marketplace. You just scroll on down, and we have them all ordered by sections. You can go to pages. This is where you can see all the different ones. Otherwise, just for seeing a few other ways of going about this, you can also search Desiree or Stack Strategies, which is the company that she's with. Click search, and then you'll see the 3 that she's created. So what she showed was her resort and land one. She also has that cruise featured trip landing page template, as well as domestic travel. So no matter what type of travel you do, hopefully one of these can really help you out. Now, what we are going to save is actually this cruise one. Wave season, I've been telling people this. It's getting earlier and earlier, so we might as well bring in this cruise one. Take a look, see what it is all about. But we're going to click into this together. And for anything in Marketplace, really, you'll always see your copy to library option down at the bottom right-hand corner. Hopefully you can see that on my screen, okay? But then let's copy this to our library. And we'll let that load. And you'll get a little preview of everything before you save it, just so you know that you want to use this. And we'll hope that our Wi-Fi is going strong. It looks like it copied. I just am impatient. I want to get to the template as quickly as possible. You can always click View in Library. This will take you right to your library, which is right next to Marketplace, so pretty handy there. Once I'm in here, we have the template right at the top. And in here, we have the 3 dots. This is where, again, if you remembered from the beginning of my speech, 3 dots in Travefy usually mean more options. You have that delete option. We don't want to get rid of this one. But you also have the edit option, or you can select new page from here. And this opens your page builder automatically. Otherwise, I'm going to show you another way that we can go about this, because there's a couple of different avenues you can take. If you happen to already be in your pages, it's been a day, you're ready to get into that template, start working, you can also select the Create from Library. And I saw this question, I think in the Q&A earlier, asking, how many pages can we have? You can have as many pages as you want. They aren't at any additional cost. We totally understand needing a lot of different pages for all the different types of trips that you will be marketing, again, to convert those sales. So for me, let's go back on point. We're creating one from the library, and I'm selecting that template that we just saved together. And what happens is it brings everything over for us. So you can see that all of her pictures are in here. All of her links are going to work. So this is a Canva template that she's created. You just click on it, takes you right over in here. Another question that I saw was, what is Canva? I love Canva personally. You can have a free account, which is what I use, or you can pay for the pro account. Obviously, there's different benefits to the pro one, which is a subscription. But you have a lot of resources with that free version as well. So don't feel like this is going to be at any additional cost to use this template. But like I said, you can customize this, you can save it, you can put in some of your own branding if you have your own colors. But this is so great. And I love that Des has brought in a little bit of Canva flair, if you will, to this session. But again, I'm going to click out of here. Let's click save. We're going to explore around this template a little bit. And if we go down, you can see that she lays out the different days. This is something that you can go ahead, you can customize yourself. You just click into it. And your edit options will be on that right-hand side once again. Pencil icon means you can edit it further. So if this is a cruise and day 1, maybe this isn't for Miami, maybe this is for Europe. We can click that pencil icon and we can put in that own description. We could definitely leave the little image graphic that she put in here, but you can swap out those details, which is why a template is so helpful to begin with. That means you don't have to do nearly as much work because the general details are already filled out for us. But I'm going to click out of here. If you don't want the itinerary overview, you can always click the 3 dots and delete it out completely. This is really, again, going back to your personal preference. What do you want your page to look like? Don't feel like you have to have everything in here, but if you do, that is amazing because it's already, of course, in here already for us. Another just few things to talk about as well are, and I'm gonna scroll through down here, we have the different, cabin options. If you think about all-inclusive, you could obviously put all of the different room options that are available on the property, swap it in, swap it out. But one thing I want to cover that I saw is, should I do this versus the proposal in Travefy? Like, what should I do here? And I know certain people will have different takes on this. So here's my personal recommendation. Mine is to go ahead, still create that trip in Travefy. If it's a proposal, don't feel like you need to put in those specific details, but it's always really nice to be able to put your itinerary onto your page somewhere and allow those interested travelers who maybe haven't used your services before to get a good idea of the type of experience that they're in with you. I was telling this to a host agency training that I did yesterday, and Rachel, if you're in here, I know you've been with us, but what I was talking about is, if you put the itinerary in there, give it just a little bit of a taste, don't put all of the details. It can give them that idea of, oh my gosh, this is interactive. I can click into the photos, the links. And when you send them that proposal or send them their personal itinerary, they are like, oh my gosh, this is amazing and I love it. They know what to expect. compared if they were to go onto somewhere like, a big name supplier site where they can book things themselves and it's just a PDF that's not really interactive. So going back to that original question, I personally say partner your proposal or your itinerary together with your landing page to again give them that little insider experience before they commit. Now, I'm going to go through a few of these. We're just going to choose maybe a couple of elements to edit together. I'm going to click this one right here. This is our hero element. And to edit, we're just going to start at the top. Pretty easy. We click on what we want to edit. The menu shows up on the right-hand side and we can input the information. For our cruise name, we're going to go ahead and call this maybe a 5-day Mexico getaway. We're going with the prompts that she set for us. What's the destinations? This is going to be Cabo San Lucas. And what is that date? Well, that would be October 17th to October 22nd. And now you can see that she has a button here. Buttons are what makes these pages interactive. And we have some great articles, step-by-step guides on how you can actually use buttons, set them up. But if it makes you feel better, you don't have to have coding knowledge. You don't have to have big website designer experience because we try and make this as easy for you as possible because we know marketing is not your only job. So if we see this here, book this trip, we have a little pencil icon. We click into it together and work your way from top to bottom. Think to ourselves, what do we want this button to do? We're asked what button type we want. I want this button specifically to maybe go to my form. I have a booking form in Travefy. Great, I'll click the drop down arrow and we have all of these different options. For right now, we're gonna select form. For the button text, I like it. I like that it says book this trip. It's our call to action. But at the last part here, and I'll zoom in so you can hopefully see these buttons a little bit easier, we have a new form option and we have an import from Travefy. For my friends who have not created a form in Travefy yet, go ahead, select that new form option and you'll get a few templates. Otherwise, if you have forms that you've been using, click that import from Travefy and you can see all of the different forms in here. For me, I'm going to go with this group booking form template, click that plus option. And now what happens is that form is now connected to that button. When someone fills it out, you of course are notified by us via email that says, hey, so-and-so filled out this form, click here to view responses. You'll be able to see all the information they put in. They're automatically added into your contact area and you can go about with that sales process. But let's click save, 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 save. The other nice thing about the page builders, we can always preview this before we put it on the internet. So we have that preview option at the top. We can see what this looks like on mobile versus desktop. Always important to see how both look to make sure your pictures fit, that your logo fits nicely, of course. But you can also click these buttons. This one happens to ask for an electronic signature because I'm pretty sure I asked for a card authorization and passport information in this form. So they'll just go ahead, verify their information, and once they're done, they're still on your page and they can still go through, see all of the information you've added in here. But again, Des makes this so easy. Let's pick maybe a few more options that we can click into. Let's just do the next one right here. Get ready to set sail to destination. All right, we don't want it to say destination. That's why it's all in caps. So we'll say Cabo San Lucas, ... And of course, you can go in, can't say it enough, edit it to how you would like it to present. Definitely remove the Canva link. You don't want that to be presented to your clients, but that's why that checklist is so nice because even if you delete this, she has all of the templates that are linked in that document. But we'll go ahead and delete that option out and we'll click save. And there we go. Easy, easy. I bet this probably would take maybe, if you put your mind to it, 20 minutes. I know that can be a lofty goal for some of us, but really everything's in here that we need already. Now, one thing, and this will be really the last one before we get into any questions, is I know a lot of you have your website elsewhere or you have your travel advisor profile through your host agency or wherever it may be. How do you guys link those up together? And so we're going to go to the nav bar. This is where we can have our buttons and our links. And I'm going to click into it. Again, edit menu shows up on the right-hand side. And let's say I want this button to be, I'm trying to think here of a good example. Let's pretend I have an advisor profile page that I want to link to. And actually, this is a good one that I thought of. Hold quick while I pull something up. But, all right, I'm ready now. Let's add item together. We're going to click that add item. You have a few different options. You have a button, which is going to give you a little border like this, or you have a link, which are going to show up like this. They both work the same way. It just is a matter of what they look like. I'm going to go with link for right now. It shows up right there. And again, we're working our way from top to bottom. What do we want this link to do? Do we want it to go to maybe a different section on this page when they click into it? Do we want this to go to another one of our previously made pages? Let's take the fact that maybe we have that third-party website, or we have something outside of Travefy we want to link to. That is when we will select external link. So I'm clicking that. Now, I'm leaving it as no icon because this isn't a social media that I'm connecting it to. But the URL that you'll want to put in here is the URL to your third-party site. So if you have a website outside of Travefy, that's where the URL is going to go in here. Same thing for advisor profiles. For me, we just talked about this in the last session with host agency reviews. It looks like her site's back up in case anyone was trying to get to those links that we shared in the previous session. But I'm going to click and copy this URL at the top. We'll pretend this is my personal advisor page. And I'm going to go back to Travefy, and I'm going to paste that link right in here. Last thing that I'm going to do before we click save and preview that is I'm going to say Travefy profile. Just showing up there. I'm going to click save, 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 save. And the other thing you might notice is, Bonnie, this looks kind of unbalanced. Why is it on the other side of contact us? Can we move that? Yes. Drag and drop, everybody. Travefy loves drag and drop. Same is going to be true in our page builder. So I'm going to drag and drop this to maybe right next to services. We'll click save. And now here's the fun part. I'm just going to go ahead and publish this. Publishing makes sure it gets put out on the website. Now, obviously, you'd want to go through, put in all of the information that you can into here before you put the template out there. But we'll pretend that I filled everything out really quick, really easy. We published it. The URL now for this specific page that you can share out on Think Big, Facebook, social media platforms like Twitter, which is now X. You can put it on social media. You can put it in your captions. You can put it into your link tree if you have a link tree. I know some of these are really big, but it doesn't hurt to have your URL in a lot of different places. So to get that URL, we click Edit Page menu, top right. We click that little link option. Now if I paste it in here, here's where that takes me. And if I click Travefy profile, it opens up exactly what I have the link going to. So it's really easy. You really do just need the links. If I had the editing capability for this page, I could put in the website URL, this guy right here, into here so they talk back and forth. So if I go here, I can easily go back and vice versa. Hopefully that makes sense. But again, you don't need any coding knowledge. You don't need any of that. You just need to get really familiar with editing from top to bottom. Again, top to bottom. Try and keep this as simple and easy as possible. But there's so much more to uncover, especially when it comes to, high converting websites. Something that I would also recommend if you want to take this a step further, and I'm looking at time, I'm going to make this so quick so we can get into those questions. If you want to continue to make sure that your website, your landing pages, you name it, are being effective, highly recommend going to your settings gear. Of course, do the domain masking. That is a necessary requirement, my gosh, for what I'm about to show you. But you have an analytics tab. We have a Metapixel integration as well as Google Analytics. Doesn't matter which one you go with. It's really up to you. But this way you can actually track the traffic, the clicks, and just get more data on how your website or your page is performing. So really easy to do. We have, of course, FAQs on how to do this. We walk you through it. And of course, we have screenshots on what everything is going to look like at each step. But highly, highly recommend, again, domain masking and pairing that up with your analytics. So you aren't going in blind and wondering, was this successful? How do I measure my success metrics? Go ahead, get the analytics in place and go from there. But with that being said, we've got about 10 minutes left. So I know we probably have a lot of questions about Travefy, a lot of questions, of course, for Des. Stephanie, what are we looking like?
Oh, there's so many. And I apologize if we don't get to all of them. I've been trying to go as many as possible. So one though that's a big one is how many pages can people have? And like, is there a limit?
Yes. Well, there is no limit, at least from what I've discovered. And I have a lot of different pages made, not on this account, my other one, which is a mess right now. But no, you can make as many pages as you would like. And you can have different themes, of course, for each one. So if this theme is Azure, I could have another with the Santorini theme. Maybe I have 2 different types of businesses. I know that's pretty common where I do destination weddings, but I want it separate from maybe the Disney travel that I do. You can have both kinds of pages in here. You can decide whether they talk to each other, again, through those buttons and links, or if you just want them to be separate and standing alone. So really good question there. I see another one that I had looked at. What is a favicon? That is a really great question. So, and you are probably going to start noticing this now every time you go to a website. Your favicon is going to be these symbols up at the top of your browser tabs. So for Travefy, that is our little blue turquoise circle with our airplane in the middle of it. Host Agency Reviews is their little symbols. And then this one is just one that I made really quick in Canva. We'll delete that one out. But where you can upload this is your edit page menu in your theme option, and that is where it is. You can always drop one in. You can come back later if you decide, you know what, this doesn't look super great. I'm going to recreate it. You can do a lot of these things in Canva, but you can also do it in any other really Photoshop area or software that you use. But good questions. Keep them coming. And if they are
Yeah.
Travefy related and we don't get to them, let us know in the chat. We can definitely help you there. Otherwise, Stack Strategies is a really great resource. So if you're like, even with these templates, even with everything, it's like, I am so busy right now. She does design websites, and we saw those really great examples, and we have a lot of her current customers in the chat too that I'm sure can attest to how great it is to have someone do that for you.
Oh yeah, there's so many people like Des really help us all out because like so
Yes.
many in here too are saying, when it comes to websites, I mean, people are like, scary, but luckily the Travefy one it's pretty straightforward, like simple to use, but also you do have to, get a little bit down. So if you do ever find that you're like, I just need a little training, don't forget also that we do offer one-on-one training. So our team is so happy. I've already told a couple people too, I'm like, I'm going to answer this, but if it doesn't make sense, feel free to ask our support team because they can walk you through, they can set up like a call with you and really help you out. But that's a cool thing. One question that I did want to touch though, Bonnie, because I got this question a couple different ways. So I'm just going to use Kim's here. So Kim said, do you think you could use a Travefy cruise itinerary and upload it into this? Someone else was asking like, so like, can I put like a cruise in here? And yeah, so you can import that into here. Just so cool.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to do quick, we are going to click out of this lovely template of ours, and I'm going to just show you what that would look like. So here's an Amsterdam one that I did pretty recently with a group. And what's nice is that when we go down here, we can pull in the itineraries that we want. So let's add a card together. And of course, fill this out as you will, but you'll have this import from Travefy option. When you click that, you have 2 different things that you can pull in. You can decide, do I want to pull in one of my Travefy trips or do I want to pull in a library item? Pull in one of your trips, especially if it is a cruise. It's so easy to just say, here's the date, here's the cruise line, and here's the cruise ship. Pull over that basic information And personally, I think that's really great as it is because, again, it gives them a little bit of a taste of the experience that they can have with your services. You don't want to give them everything right then and there. That's part of the fun of going with a travel advisor. It's saying, what is this trip going to shape up to look like? But give them a little taste, like a little sample, if you will, if you ever go to Costco. You love the samples, and then you go and buy a bulk amount of macaroni and cheese.
And then
So
come
that is,
in.
think about it like that. But we'll pull it in this one itinerary. It pulls over your title of your trip, your cover photo, if you have price in there. We really just decided, this is the trip. We didn't have to think too hard about everything. And when we preview that, when a client clicks view trip, it takes them to the itinerary. So as you can see, this probably looks very familiar for a lot of you where the links are interactive. If I go down to photos right here, for instance, it blows everything up and I can scroll through everything. And what I love about pulling trips in from Travefy onto a page is this contact button. It's going to allow them to put their name, their email, and a message to you so you can get a warm lead from your site and you can follow up with them and, of course, go through your sales process. But I love bringing in your work. So those featured trips that you've worked really hard on, put them in here. But I love that question, Kim.
So good. I had one other one and now I lost it. Let me find it. There's so many. And again, I apologize, everyone. You'll have to rely. Bonnie, can you show one more time that support chat feature? It's like my favorite thing. Like if I had a question, how do I ask it?
Yes, go ahead. You'll see it usually in the bottom left-hand corner. Sometimes it goes to the right-hand side if you maybe are in your account settings. But usually it's at the bottom somewhere in the corner. And you can send us a message and type out your message, send it to us. We would be happy to help you out. And of course, we love trainings. I think when it comes to a website builder or a landing page builder, the best type of learning is from setting up a one-on-one training with us. Just because it's more face-to-face, you can actually see how we do things with your questions. So if, for instance, let me just pick a question really, really quick. I know we're getting close to time. Oh, someone's like, oh, you can resize your images? Yes. So if you're like, can you show me, Eric, how to resize my images in the website builder? Yes, obviously I can. So I am going to pull in a new element for you. We'll pull in the left aside above this, and we can shrink to fit. Shrink to fit's really handy if you use Canva a lot, just because sometimes the dimensions are a little bit funky when it comes to the adjustable sizes. So if you are on different computer screens, we want to make sure that image can be stretched and shrinked. So shrink to fit is really nice. Otherwise, fill is also really great. So kind of like that. Maybe that's a good taste for what a training can be like with us.
That's so true. Yeah, like a good old train. Someone asked too, they were like, what if I like want to just take a stab at it and then get on a training, see, like, can someone just check it
yeah.
over? Heck yeah. You can also
I
send it
love
to
those.
us. Yeah, like just, I know. And yeah, those are always really fun because then we get to actually use our creative minds and be like, oh, wait a minute, what if you did this? Or like, here's another way to do that.
Yes. And really, too, I always want to make sure you guys know this. We aren't travel advisors, but we'd love to look at your stuff and say, you know what, this image is just a little bit blurry on our end. We can always tell you that. But the best advice is going to be from our Facebook group. You will get tour operators who can give you opinions. You can get other advisors' opinions on everything. So share your website out. I've seen that before, and all of the advice is so helpful and it's so kind. The travel advisor community is such a special one. But I've got 1 minute left. I am going to quickly go through here. That's what the official Travefy Facebook group looks like. Again, Stack Strategies is Desiree's company. If you ever want to look her up, she has a great portfolio of Travefy websites. I definitely have gone there for inspiration. Now you can find so much inspiration on Marketplace. But recordings, they'll be available on the Sales Workshop site. So if you want to, slow us down, make our voices go at maybe 0.5 instead of what they're at, you can do that with those recordings, which are always super helpful. But join us for happy hour. That's at the end of the day. If I can give you a
It's coming
hint.
quick.
I know. And there's prizes. So if you missed out on Amazon Prime Days, well, you got a gift card from us coming if you win. So tune in. But the next session's coming up is with Morris Sims, and this is going to be so, so helpful. How do you help people decide? For me, I'm interested because I cannot make a decision for the life of me. If you are the type of person who says, I don't care where we can eat anywhere. I don't know what we want to have. That's me. And that's what a lot of travelers are like, as you know. So let's figure out how to help us make those good decisions. But
Oh yeah, it's gonna be so cool. One other thing I'm
yes.
gonna say, Bonnie, I have it up right now. I'm about to make a post in our Facebook group. I'm gonna start a thread going, and if you created
Yes.
your site like on Travefy, and then if it's like in progress right now and you just want some help, just note that. But let's start a thread and see all of the pages because I'm ready for some inspo. You know,
Yes,
so cool.
absolutely. But no, this has been awesome. Thank you again so much, Desiree and baby Max, for taking time out of your day to join us. So many people, I can see the comments now saying this is amazing.
So
I was so excited about this session. So amazing
there's
job.
a little pumpkin in the back. There he is. Hi, Max.
Hi,
Max,
Max.
you did so good.
Yes. Oh, but amazing. I hope to see you guys soon. All right, though.
Thank you. See ya.
See ya.